Good evening, all of you. In the last class, we have discussed about the dissolution of partnership. Now, in this class, we are going for the next topic, that is insolvency of a partner. Okay, whenever any partner, when he is unable to pay off his debts, then we'll call him as insolvent. This insolvency, it is otherwise known as bankruptcy. Insolvency is an English word and bankruptcy is an Indian word. Okay, this insolvency of a partner you come across when you go for a partnership business. And one more thing is insolvency of all partners. That is also a different thing that you will come across. Insolvency of a partner and insolvency of all partners. These two things will come across. But one thing that we have to note down is insolvency of a partner. Insolvency of a partner you'll come across with an English case, that is Garner versus Murray. And this case, it happened in London. And in this, some people, they are used to argue that whatever it may be, the deficiency of an insolvent partner, it should be shared among the partners in their profit sharing ratio. And some people, they argued that it is not in the ratio of profit and loss account because it is not a trading loss or a trading profit. When it is a trading profit or a trading loss, you can distribute that in the old profit sharing ratio, but it is not that. This is nothing but the deficiency of a person when he cannot be in a position to pay off his debts. What we have to do? Whatever it may be, the deficiency that we come across, this deficiency should be solved among the solved partner. It should be distributed among the solvent partners in their capital ratios. So like that, some people, they used to argue. Taking into account both the, opinions, the English court, it had given a judgment that is, whatever it may be, the deficiency of the insolvent partner, that deficiency, it should be distributed among the solvent partners in their capital ratios. And when they are going to do this, they have to bring, cash into the business equivalent to their loss, whatever they come across. Like that, the English court or the British government court, it had given the judgment. And since then, people, they are following the same thing. So whenever you come across insolvency of a partner, this case, that is Garner versus Murray, it should struck to your mind. It must come to your mind. So what is this insolvency and what is this solvency? Solvency is nothing but the position to pay off all the debts. Pay off all the debts, whatever it may be, the debts that the individual partners they are having. When he can be in a position to pay off his debts, we'll call that thing as solvency. And insolvency, it is a position where the individual person, or that is individual partner, he cannot be in a position to pay off his debts. That is, he is unable to pay off his debts. Then that position will call that thing as insolvency. According to Indian Partnership Act of 1932, whenever any partner, when he retires or when he expires, or whenever a partner becomes insane or insolvent, immediately the partnership business must be closed. That is according to Indian Partnership Act of 1932. So some of the people, what they'll do is they'll keep some clauses. They'll keep some clauses like Okay, whether if you come across any retirement or death or insane or insolvent, the continuing partners or the existing partners can carry on their business. So when they keep this type of clause, automatically the business people in the partnership business will continue. Suppose if they won't keep any clause like this, then immediately the partnership business must be closed. So in the same way, when we go for insolvency of a partner, we have to close the partnership business. And the partners, they will apply to the register of partnership firms that we are so-and-so the partnership business and we are doing the business since from this many years of time. And one of our partners, he is unable to pay off his debts. Like that, they have to intimate that to the register of firms, partnership firms. Okay. And the same thing, they'll intimate to the court of law. They'll intimate to the court of law. The court of law or the register of partnership firms, partnership business firms, what they will do is, they'll appoint a person and that person will call him as the official receiver. And this official receiver, he will come to the partnership business and he will observe each and everything. And after that, he will take possession of all the assets and liabilities in his control. Okay, after taking the possession of assets and liabilities in his control, what he will do? He will realize the assets in the open market. And whatever it may be, the amounts that we come across, he will settle them. And he will see whether there is a loss or a profit on realization. Okay, if there is loss, that loss he will distribute among the partners in their old profit sharing ratio. Then he will observe who is a solvent partner and who is an insolvent partner. Okay, what is the capital position of a partner? Okay, what is the capital position of another partner? Like that, he will just compare. He will look after all those. And after distribution of the loss, realization loss, then he will see what is the deficiency of this insolvent partner. And this deficiency, okay, it must be shared among the other partners in their capital ratios. So what they will do is, okay, he will prepare this in insolvent partner's capital account. Suppose if they are following this fixed capital method, then what they will do is, first of all, they'll prepare the current accounts. And whatever it may be, the current account balance, they'll transfer to capital accounts. When the partnership business, when it is adapting this fixed capital method, first of all, they'll prepare the current accounts of all the partners. And after transferring all these losses and other things, okay, regarding the adjustments of partners, they'll see what is the balance that is left over. And this balance they will transfer to capital accounts. And then they will go for the capital accounts of the partners. And before going to capital accounts, they will come to understand, that is the official receiver, he will understand that who is the insolvent partner and what is his position. That's why we have to prepare the insolvent partner's capital account first. After preparing the insolvent partner's capital account, we'll come to know about the deficiency of that person. And then we have to see who are the solvent partners. Who are the solvent partners? For example, A, B, C are there. Okay, C became insolvent. C became insolvent. And the official receiver, he will prepare C's capital account first and see, he will derive the deficiency. How much is the deficiency? That deficiency, A and B, they have to share their capital ratios. Before sharing the capital deficiency, whatever it may be, the loss that was incurred by A and B, they have to bring in the form of cash into the business. After bringing the cash, then they will take into account the capital accounts, and in the capital accounts ratio only, they have to distribute the deficiency of C. So like this, you will come across insolvency of a partner. Okay, so people, they must be very, attentive in going for this insolvency of a partner. Okay, now when it is fluctuating, there won't be any problem. When we come across, the fixed capital method, first of all, we have to prepare the current accounts, as I told you already. And whatever it may be, the adjustment that we come across, we have to do in the current accounts. Excuse me. Okay, after balancing, you have to derive the balances, current account balances. If you come across credit balance, it will appear on the liability side of the balance sheet. If you come across debit balance, it will appear on the asset side of the balance sheet. Then you go for current account. But here it is not like that. Whatever it may be, the balance, whether it may be a credit balance or debit balance, they must be transferred to concerned capital accounts. This is the thing that you have to observe in this. Okay, after transferring the current accounts to capital accounts, then we'll see what is the position. That is how the capital accounts are to be balanced. Okay, and after that, they will come to know about the deficiency of the insolvent partner. And this deficiency, they have to distribute in their capital ratios. That is, the solvent partners, they have to distribute in their capital ratios. And people, they must understand what is this solvency. It's a simple example. You can take that. If you take a glass of water and if you take a spoon of sugar and if you just rotate that in the glass of water, after some time, the sugar will dissolve in that. So we can say that it is nothing but solvent. And in the place of sugar, if you take sand, it won't dissolve in the water. Okay, a residue of sand will remain at the end. So we can say that it is insolvent. In the same notion, in the same way, we can take this for insolvency of a partner. Now, when the capitals are fluctuated, when they fix, what are the accounting treatments? What is the accounting treatment that we come across? Let us see. And first one is undistributed profits, reserves, etc. should be transferred to current accounts of the partners. The entry is general reserve account data, partner profit and loss account data to partners' current accounts. Okay. In the same way, when you come across undistributed losses, the same also they must be transferred to partners' current account. There, the entry is partners' current accounts data to profit and loss account. Next, loss on realization should be transferred to current accounts of the partners. Okay, loss on realization. When we come across profit, then we can say that there is no insolvency. But in many cases, you will come across loss. Whenever you come across a realization loss, then only the problem arises, whether the partners can able to clear their debts or not. Okay. Here, you will take into account. Sir, you are telling that the partner should be able to clear his debts. What do you mean by this? Here, all the partners are the principals as well as agents of another partners. And whatever it may be, the liabilities that we come across for a partnership business, all the partners are liable to share that. All the partners are liable to pay that. When suppose 3 persons are there, A, B, C, and if C says that, say my financial position is not good, so I cannot able to pay off the debts. I know that I have to share, I have to pay, but thing is, by now my financial position is not in a good way. So I'm unable to pay the debts. Whenever any partner, when he says, we can say that it is nothing but insolvency of a partner. Okay, so loss on realization should be transferred to partner's current accounts. The entry is partner's current account data to realization account. Next, each solvent partner is required to bring in this respective share of loss on realization. That is, he has to bring from his private source his share of realization loss in the form of cash. So the entry is bank account data to solvent partner's capital account, current account. The insolvent partner's current account should be transferred to his capital account. If the current account shows a debit balance, the entry for transfer is insolvent partner's capital account data to insolvent partner's current account. Okay, insolvent partner's capital account data to insolvent partner's current account. If any amount is realized from the estate of insolvent partner, then he should be credited to his capital account. The entry is, suppose from his estate, that is taking into account the private properties, all those things. If you come across, if you can able to realize some amount, that amount you have to use. And one thing you have to take into account, when you are going for an insolvent partner's private estate, there also you have to take into account the private assets and private liabilities. And the private liabilities you have to pay off by realizing the private assets. So after realization of these private liabilities, whatever it may be, the surplus amount, it should be brought into the business. And that is giving some amount, is contributing some amount from his private properties. If any amount is realized from the estate of insolvent partner, then he should be credited to this capital account. The entry is bank account data to insolvent partner's capital account. The capital deficiency, that is the net debit balance of the insolvent partner, should be transferred to the current accounts of the solvent partners in proportion to their capitals as on the date of balance sheet. Yeah, whatever it may be the capital deficiency of the insolvent partner, they must be transferred to the solvent partner's current account. The entry is solvent partner's current account debtor to insolvent partner's capital account. Solvent partner's current account debtor to insolvent partner's capital account. Once more, I am telling. The solvent partner's current account should now be closed by transfer to their respective capital accounts. The entry for the transfer of credit balance in current account to capital account is solvent partner's current account debtor to solvent partner's capital account. Okay, next. If any solvent partner's capital account shows a debit balance, then he is required to bring the amount due from him before making payment to other solvent partners. In such a case, bank account is debited and his capital account should be credited. That is bank account debtor to particular partner's capital account. Now the final payment is made to the solvent partners of the amount due to them. The entry is solvent partner's capital account debtor to bank account. This is when we go for capitals in the form of fixed cap, in the form of when capitals are fixed. Now, when capitals are fluctuating, okay, when capitals are fluctuating, there is no necessity for us to prepare the current account place, because all the adjustments we have to transfer to capital account only directly. Okay, all the adjustments, whether it may be undistributed profits or undistributed losses, whatever it may be, losses, loss on realization, whatever it may be, all the things, they must be transferred to capital accounts. When capital accounts are fluctuating. When capital accounts are fluctuating, all adjustments regarding undistributed profits, reserves, profit and loss account, debit balance, realization, profit or loss, amount on realization, okay, loss brought in by solvent partners, etc., are made through capital accounts, okay, instead of debiting or crediting current accounts. Capital accounts are debited or credited. The net deficiency of the insolvent partner is borne by solvent partners in proportion to their capitals after transfer of general reserve, profit and loss account balance, profit and loss on realization balance. Profit and loss on realization should not be considered while ascertaining the capital ratio of the solvent partners. The entry for transfer of loss due to insolvency of a partner to the capital accounts of solvent partners is solvent partners capital account at R to insolvent partners capital account. This is how you will come across when the capitals are kept on fluctuating. Okay, now after this, we have to go for solvency, sale to a company. That is, sometimes the partnership business, okay, when it seems that it is difficult for them to carry on the business, and when they want to spread their business, what they will do? They will sell their business to a company, to a firm. Sell to a company. They'll sell their business to a company. And when any company, when it wants to start the same type of business, it will also show eagerness to purchase the business, because as it is a new thing, they have to start right from the beginning. Instead of that, when we go and purchase the same type of business, we'll have some experience and we can take those people as the shareholders and we'll have some experience. Thereby, there is no necessity for us to go and here and there to catch all the things, because already the same type of business people they are doing, and when we take them as shareholders, they can continue the business and we can expand our business. Like that, the companies, they will think. And the partnership businesses, when they are vexed and when they want to capture the market, or when it seems to be very difficult for the partnership business to continue, okay, then they will come to a decision that it is better for us to sell the business to a company. And sale to a company, okay, there you'll come across selling company and selling business and purchasing company. Then you'll come across this acquisition of business. Okay, the picture, acquisition of business, whatever we have seen, acquisition of business will come into picture. Here, the purchasing company will pay some price known as purchase consideration to the selling company, taking into account the assets and liabilities of the selling business. And whatever it may be, the purchasing company wants to pay the consideration or purchase price, it will pay in the form of net assets or in the form of net payments, whatever it may be, by taking into account all the assets and liabilities of the selling company, selling business. So like this, you'll come across sale to a company. Okay, so in the next video, we are going for sale to a company. Thank you.